Hey guys, this is IrieStarcraft and I'm back to cast another game for you. This one is going to be a 2 versus 2 and it will be on Scorched Haven. It's going to be between NrTRuSH, the red Zerg player, and LittleRedDot, the blue Terran player, and their opponents will be Levels, the teal Protoss, and InfKassim, also known as Protec, the purple Protoss. This is his newest Smurf account, so that is Protec. He is on Protoss, not exactly his best race. It looks like Levels and Protec will be throwing down pylons here on the low ground. Levels taking a little bit of extra time there on his pylon. It looks like Protec going to be doing scouting here, and so this is a map where dual Protoss can be pretty effective against Terran Zerg, though obviously the advantage generally going to the Terran and Zerg team, but this is something that the dual Protoss team at this high level definitely must do, is wall off the front, and Levels is going to be going for the early forge. And he is not going to be aggressive with that forge. He is just going to pull his probe back. He has no probe down here trying to be sneaky at all. And meanwhile, Protec is scouting here, and it looks like this is a pretty standard opening here. Some trash talking going down actually from NrTRuSH, as Protec is trying to get an SCV kill and delay this barracks as long as possible. And so I expect to see Marauders, some fast Marauders coming out from LittleRedDot, and this 10 pool is about to finish here for NrTRuSH, and the Zerglings will be on the way. And what will they encounter? They will encounter a photon cannon, and we'll see to what extent they decide to wall this off. Are they going to completely wall it off, or are they going to leave one little spot? And with the cannon here, they should be able to get away with one spot, especially Chrono Boosting out a Zealot. But always confusing here when you got two people trying to wall off. But you see Levels putting another pylon over here on this side. And perhaps that is so that he can get a cannon back in this location. We'll see. But it won't be long before Marauders will be out and be able to shell away at those buildings very quickly. And actually going for a fast Reaper is LittleRedDot, and that is going to be very, very effective if he opts to go after Levels base early, because this is going to be wide open back here and Levels is going to have no units to deal with it. He's gone for a fast Nexus. So this Reaper could be devastating to Levels. We will see, but there will be a Stalker out here fairly soon for Protec. So, and actually another pylon going up on the high ground here for Levels. So he's setting himself up to put cannons all over the place if he needs to. And trying to get a probe out, and that is not going to happen because the Zerglings did see it. And will they chase this probe into the cannons? Oh, two Zerglings did die unnecessarily there, but the probe did survive. So a nice save there on the probe. And actually a sentry has come out. As where is the Reaper? The Reaper has just shown up in Levels' base. And with some good micro here, he will be able to kill quite a few probes. As Levels actually showing some pretty good micro of his own, saving all those probes. A nice save there. Pulling back the low hit point probe so that LittleRedDot cannot focus fire them. Taking notes. I'm taking notes right now. That is definitely a good play. Something to keep in mind when you're Protoss and getting harassed by a Reaper like that. What he's trying to do is he's got to focus down your individual probe, because if he just auto fires it, there's only a small chance that he'll be attacking that one. So if you can pull back your low hit point probe preemptively, that is key, man, because it does take 3 shots from a Reaper to kill a probe. As you see, what is that? Damage versus light 9. As the pressure has now, the pressure is going to begin here. The Marauders will be able to shoot away at this Cybernetics core uncontested. There are a lot of cannons here. Protec is going for another Nexus of his own. Is he going to be throwing down a new Cybernetics core in the back? You may need to think about it, as actually these sentries squeaking out here to try and get some damage on these Marauders, but they will be able to continue firing away. This One Marauder getting hit. Sentry's coming back out again. Oh no, one Sentry is going to make it back in. And so there goes the Cybernetics Core. That will have to be rebuilt as you see it. Nearing halfway completion here. And roaches for NrTRuSH. So scratch the mass Zerglings. He is going for a bunch of roaches. They're going to try and bust this down and end this game as quickly as they can. And I guess what it takes... I'm totally tripping on this Reaper thing. Does he still have the Reaper? Because I want to check that. It said only 9 damage to light. I could have sworn it takes 3 shots to kill a probe with a Reaper. But probes have 40 hit points total. And if it only does 9 damage versus light, that can't be right. That can't be right, man. Tripping. Anyway, this is a lot of cannons. That is a lot of cannons. So the one thing that will do is buy a lot of time, because it's going to force them to continue massing up all these Marauders, all these roaches, and if Levels makes the switch to Stargate, as you see happening right now, and this is something, if you guys have watched me cast some of Azide and Super Ninja's games, you have seen this strategy before. A million cannons to try and delay as long as possible and get those Void Rays out. To just eat up these units, and some nice force fields going down from Protech will keep these units at bay and get as many free shots from the cannons as possible. And roaches and Marauders still able to shoot, still able to pick away at some of these buildings. I feel like they're getting too far ahead of themselves trying to push up into these force fields. You want to drain all this energy and then just pick off the buildings that you can. This photon cannon getting so many free shots here on the high ground. Finally, there's an overload here from Rush that's going to allow that to get taken out, but it looks like the probes are going to be pulled off the line from Protech just in the nick of time to try and provide some cover, and there it goes. The Void Ray has made it out. The Void Ray has made it out, excuse me, from Levels, and that is going to force this attack back. So the million cannon protection did actually pan out there. It bought them the time that they needed. And if LittleRedDot, I don't know how well that would have worked against a proxy Marauder strategy, but it definitely worked for your standard Reaper Marauder strategy. Nicely done. And now the economic advantage clearly on the right team, so they have pretty much got this. They have got to really screw this up to lose at this point. So a great hold there. And now this Void Ray, though, is getting pretty ahead of himself. He's pretty exposed. These Marines should be able to take him out. They are going to use up that stim to try and pick it off, but it looks like LittleRedDot trying to be cute here with his stims. Oh, he is going to be able to get it. I thought he was, he tried to only stim like 2 Marines, and he was actually able to finish off the Void Ray. So Levels losing that Void Ray a little unnecessarily. You want to try and use your Void Rays when possible in these cliff locations so that you can't get chased down. It's much more effective using Void Rays at the cliffs. But I don't think he realized there would be that many Marines already on the field. Too bad, as LittleRedDot is really trying to macro up like crazy to catch up, and he already should be ahead with the mules, giving so much income. Rush, meanwhile, not really up to speed. And so what do we have tech-wise? We are going to be actually getting a bunch of Phoenix now from Levels. Does he have extra Stargates? How many Stargates does he have here? He has 3 Stargates. So going a mass air. Now a Twilight Council. And just now getting his Warp Gate research. Upgrading ground weapons. So it looks like he's just going to be trying to use these Phoenix for harassment. And this is something I need to get better with, is using Phoenix. This is definitely something I need to get better with. As my biggest problem on... Oh, he's going to be running! Oh man, that was close. We almost ran these Phoenix right over a big ball of Marines. That would have been really bad. And now just sort of baiting these Marines all over the place. And these Phoenix doing a nice job of giving the map control they need. Meanwhile, Protech amassing up some Immortals. And going to be taking up to Colossus here. It looks like going to be getting a second robotics bay, or robotics facility, as well as the robotics bay. Lots of minerals banked here. Going to be able to pump out 2 Colossus and the extended thermal lance all at once with the triple chrono boost. He's got this all worked out, man. As, oh, a drop is coming in from LittleRedDot, and that could be very devastating for Levels. He's got nothing back here to defend. Protect is going to have to send his units up here. The Phoenix will barely be able to do anything against this. They are trying to focus down the Nexus. One Void Raid here. One Void Raid here. I don't know why I can't pronounce Void Raid today. It's totally crazy. Levels warping in some Zealots. The Nexus is going to go down. A great drop there from LittleRedDot. He's going to really hurt Levels' economy. And oh man. Oh man. He did manage to save pretty much all the probes here, so he's got that going for him, which is good. Anyway, I still think the team on the right has the advantage at this point, but that definitely brought back a little bit here. But the Colossi are going to prove to be so powerful, and Levels looks like finishing up that charge research. Going to be getting a lot of Zealots here. A lot of Zealots. And more and more and more Phoenix. These Phoenix being so pesky, they are going to be flying into Rush's mineral line. There is a Spore Crawler back here. Trying to get some free Overlord kills are these Phoenix. You see them scouting around, looking for those stray Overlords. But LittleRedDot doing a nice job protecting them all back here. And if nothing else, these Phoenix are forcing them to get all this anti-air defense. There is a Ghost Academy, by the way. Already finished for LittleRedDot, but I don't see any ghosts in here. Are there any ghosts yet on the field? There are none on the field yet. Now one ghost just came out, so that ghost is not going to have enough energy to EMP, and this attack could be devastating for the left team. And look at this army is completely out of position for LittleRedDot. Oh no, if Protect pushes right now, tons of damage could be done. These Zerglings are going to be practically useless against all these Colossi. Oh, they're going to trap all of the Terran Bio Ball out of position. Look at that force field trap right there. Oh man. And this just totally taking advantage of the bad positioning of LittleRedDot. When it gets to late game and 2v2s, it's all about army composition. It's all about the timing and placement of your engagements. There's some investors are out here now for NrTRuSH, and these fungal growths will do quite a bit of damage, but with that bio ball so depleted, I just don't know if it's going to be enough to finish this off. And it does not look like it. The Phoenix will be able to take care of these Vikings fairly easily. There are so many of them. I'm trying to double click them to see how many. And I really like this army composition here with the Phoenix and Colossus. And it looks like that is going to just about do it for this game. Very well played. And at the same time, it looks like Protect has managed to take a third up here. I didn't even realize this was going on the whole time. So they're pretty sweet there, as they are way ahead now in income. And so it's just desperation time now for LittleRedDot. He is trying to pump out some units, and not going to happen. The Phoenix are even lifting off Marines here. You know that's a bad sign. And so pretty much the right team should be able to just move their way to victory at this point. But I really liked the hold early on. Yes, the cannons seemed so excessive, but it was exactly what they needed to buy the time against those Marauders, man. Marauders are so strong against Protoss early on that you just gotta plan for that. You either need to rush Immortals, if one guy can rush Immortals to try and deal with that, but you gotta really coordinate your efforts a lot as dual Protoss, otherwise you will find yourself dead super fast. And by the way, this map allowing for the dual Protoss to play effectively. On those, there's a lot of maps in the 2v2 map pool right now that have backdoor rocks on either side, and when that's the case, it is so hard as a dual Protoss or Terran Protoss to win, because Zergling harass, once those rocks are down, it's just so tough to deal with. Anyway, pretty exciting game there. Thank you, Levels, for sending me this game. It was a pleasure to cast. And that is going to do it for me. This is IrieStarcraft, and peace out.